Hello Internet, Taliesin here, and today we are talking World of Warcraft, patch 8.3, Rise of Nzoth. Except obviously we're not, because there's no such thing as Rise of Nzoth. That's not even a real patch, you idiot. It's Visions of Nzoth. Seriously, you keep saying it wrong, and you really need to sort that out. That's your fault, obviously, but everything else that's wrong with this patch is totally Blizzard's fault, and there is loads of that shit, because, okay, fine, you might be all like, whoa, what's wrong with 8.3? It's fun, I like the visions and the raid and the corruption and stuff, but shut up though, dweeb, because you're wrong, because just like patch 8.2 and actually 7.2 and actually every other patch in the history of the game, 8.3 is the worst patch ever, and here are the 12 things you hate about patch 8.3, okay? Go, 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 go. Right, I want to spend a little bit of time talking about Magni Bronzebeard, the diamond dwarf who has kind of taken on the old story dude mantle in BFA. As in, he's the one that guides us through a great deal of the central plot of the expansion, continuing the established WoW tradition of a pensioner telling us to go and collect stuff, which, let's be honest, probably isn't going to end with Battle for Azeroth. I'm looking at you, Bolvar, and go on, I dare you, tell me to go and stock up on Anima one more time. But whereas Khadgar just about pulled it off by essentially being Paul Newman with dad jokes, Magni doesn't quite capture the same charm for one simple reason. Magni is a massive diamond dick. Like, seriously, screw Magni, okay? He's supposed to be the speaker of Azeroth. That means Azeroth has chosen him to speak to and tell him all of her problems. That means that Azeroth was all like, oh, Magni, I have chosen you as speaker. You are my champion. I'm dying, Magni. Go and collect loads of Azerite and make me feel better, Magni. And Magni was all like, yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm doing the accent. Yeah, sure thing, lassie. And then he thought about it for a second and was like, nah. Hey, champion, I'm the speaker, and Azeroth has told me she wants you to go and collect loads of Azerite to make her better. He's basically noped out and delegated us all of the legwork. And okay, fine, he's only got little legs, but it means that he's been skating on pretty thin ice with me all expansion already, even before 8.3 rolled around, you know? So when Visions of Nzoth opens up with a super meaty quest line that sends you all over the world multiple times through multiple scenarios, when travel time is a big part of why it takes so long to complete, it doesn't help that Magni is an absolute 9-carat arsehole about the entire thing. Because after you've just done all the fighting in yet another scenario, when Magni tells you that you've got to be the other side of the world again to hand the quest in, to him, that's bad enough. But then when he says, oh, I'll meet you there, champion, and then teleports out, leaving you to walk of shame all the way back again like some dickhead, well, you know what, Magni? How about you shit right off with that, okay? How about you take the quest off me here? Or better still, offer me a lift, you stingy hobnob. I mean, say what you like about Khadgar, but at least he'd teleport us both around the place. Magni is definitely one of those idiots that totally likes showing off shit that he can do that he knows other people can't. You know, like he would totally invite Stephen Hawking round for a game of Dance Dance Revolution and knob end. Come back, Khadgar, all is forgiven, except the Nether Shard thing. I'm never forgiving that. Now here's a thing that absolutely no one else has ever mentioned ever, probably because you're all too scared, but I'm going to go ahead and say it anyway, because that's just me, you know, I tell it how it is. Why is it such a ball ache to get to Uldum and the Vale from our capitals? In Borealis alone, we have portals to Stormwind, Silithus, Ny'alotha, Ironforge, the Exodar, Dazaralor, Stromgarde, Darkshore. We have fast travel to all 3 Zandalar zones and 11 islands in the middle of the sea. We've established here that we have the tools to get places instantly if the need is great enough. And yeah, if there's some doubloons to collect, then sure, the need is great enough. Wow, you betcha, oh boy. Oh, but what's this? As soon as there's an existence-threatening old god taking over various zones, which needs some pretty close attention, you know, real not a minute to lose champion type stuff here, apparently that's not a big enough deal to warrant a mage portal. Just to be very clear here, the mages of Borealis consider it more important to use their time and energy maintaining a portal to the Exodar than to the place we need to go every day to stop Nzoth taking over our planet. This is why no one likes you, mages. It's because the year is 2020 and my Hearthstone is set to Vale of Eternal Blossoms like some twat. Oh, but at least I can go to the Exodar whenever I want, though. Thanks. Let's all go to the Exodar, everyone. No, let's not. Let's put all the mages in the sea where they belong. Oh, and since we appear to be talking about Nzoth assaults now, I really like Nzoth assaults. I think they're an interesting evolution from and combination of world quests, older-fashioned dailies, and events. I like how quick and easy it is to get the mandatory stuff done, and then beyond that, there's still plenty more to do if you want to. I think Blizz did a really good job on these, fair play. But as the great philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre once wrote, hell is other people. And if you never believed that before, then honestly, give it one afternoon in Nzoth assaults, and okay, you teeny pipe smoking scarf wearer, you might have a point, because people make me hate 8. 8.3, and WoW, and myself, and basically the entire world. There's the fact that all the nodes in assaults, like Black Empire banners, or obelisks, or little portal things, are single-use and non-shareable, which means that you can spend minutes at a time killing mobs around one of the bastards just to have some dickhead druid swoop in and click the thing, and okay, fine, plenty more where that came from, sure, but that's just the hors d'oeuvre in my existential shit banquet, because what about the lights game? The lights game in Uldum is brilliant. A really smart little logic puzzle that's just the right side of tricky and harmless until anyone else gets anywhere near it. Like, what the fuck, dude? What did you think was going to happen if you just flew in and started pressing lights? Why do you think that's helpful? Why are you the worst person ever born? People are terrible. I hate them, and if they're not shitting on your light game, then they're making you fail visions by dropping an orb at the same time that you're dropping an orb, or not dropping an orb at all. And if that sounds like I'm blaming all my own failures unreasonably on basically everyone else, then yeah, damn right, that's exactly what I'm doing, because people are the absolute worst, and that includes you. You suck. Right, okay, so there's a big flying worm in the invasion zone that zaps you and makes you fly slower. You might be thinking, oh yeah, Tally, that's the worm from beyond. It's an interesting but ultimately harmless way to make players think about where they're going in those zones instead of flight being essentially an invincibility mechanic. It's one of those things where the idea is much more scary than the thing in practice, where in reality, it's actually quite hard to get hit by the worm. It only really happens if you AFK at great height for a while. And I mean, yes, thank you, made up reasonable person. That's a very reasonable take on the thing, and you're absolutely right, of course, but also you, okay? Because yes, I know it's very easy to avoid the worm, okay? I know what a simple endeavor it is not to get slowed by a massive, giant, floaty worm that I have to essentially go out of my way to come into contact with. I know that, but you know what? I still get hit by it all the time. And knowing that I have no one to blame but my own idiot self, that just makes it worse. You know what feels worse than your flying mount progressing about as quickly as racial diversity in the Ku Klux Klan? Knowing that it's my fault. It's bad enough that my mount is basically traveling in reverse now without the added shame of knowing that I'm the idiot that let it happen because I needed a poo and left my dude AFKing too high. The fact that I can't really blame anyone for this shitty situation except myself is rubbish, so I'm just going to blame Blizzard instead. You suck, Blizzard. Yeah, we're still doing assaults, get over it. And like I say, I like the repurposing of Uldum and Pandaria for these. I think it's neat. But you know what I don't think is neat? The fact that half of the Vale is subterranean. If I say to you the words Panda Underground, you probably think of a really cool, if slightly furry, experimental art rock group, or some kind of freedom-fighting resistance, but you know, with pandas, which is awesome, apart from the pandas, obviously. But you'd be totally wrong, because the Panda Underground is neither of those nice things. No, it's what happens when you're flying along and you're like, at last, there's one of those treasure chests that I've been aimlessly looking for the last hour. I'm free! Oh no, sorry, the chest isn't there on the ground, as the minimap suggested. It's actually part of the Panda Underground. Oh, finally, the third rare that I need to complete this Kill the Rares quest that I picked up 3 weeks ago. Now I can finally turn this in and have a shower or spend time with my family, and oh no, silly me, the rare's not really here. It's part of the Panda Underground. I mean, fine, I like how beautiful and cool that underground cave bit is. It looks really great, yay. But in an assault, when I'm flying around indulging in the always totally thrilling and next level gameplay of waiting for dots to appear on a map, then those dots sure as shit better be showing me something that's actually there, where I am, and not hidden in a baddie-filled death den with one entrance, which is the other side of the map, because of course it is. They're pandas, Blizz. They're not moles. They're not moles, Blizz. It's not called Mr. Moles, is it? It's not called that. I can like what Blizz did here while still being disappointed in what they didn't do, because I'm a human being and that's how we work. And what Blizz didn't do in 8.3 was give us Ny'alotha. I mean, yeah, they did, obviously. Look, here it is, and it looks great, but that's just it. It looks great. Seriously, how awesome is this shit? The mythical sleeping city of Ny'alotha, which we've been talking and theorizing about since the puzzle box of Yogg-Saron whispered about it back in Cataclysm. It's everything I want it to be. Awesome Black Empire architecture that matches the art in Chronicle. Huge, heaving tentacles lurching heavily through the skybox. It's stunning and lovingly realized, and lol, hope you enjoyed that, because f*** you, it's only a raid. Why is it only a raid, Blizz? Okay, so I get it would have been difficult to make it a questing zone like you did with Argus, in that Ny'alotha is a place where there are no friendly faces. The whole point is that everyone who lives there is a nightmare cosmic hellbeast, and they're not likely to ask you to go and collect 20 void flowers or whatever, but couldn't we have had something that just let us explore like a little bit more? Like a dungeon with our first forays into the realm to see what needs doing. Or maybe those daily mini visions, which are such non-events, could have been spiced up a bit by having them here with all this cool shit everywhere. Ny'alotha is just so great and totally worth the nearly 10-year wait, but it just seems like a waste. Maybe in a few expansions time, like 11.0, you'll repurpose Ny'alotha like you did Vale and Uldum and fill it full of world quests so that I can finally have a proper day out in the sleeping city. Here's hoping. I mean, shit, look at that. Raden is a Titan Watcher. Like, the Titans made him specifically to be a total badass. And actually, eventually, he does turn out to be a really good boss in the Ny'alotha raid. But before accepting Nzoth into his life and getting killed by me for fat loots, Raden is not a badass. He's basically just a sulky, emo teenager. When we get to the Vale in the opening quests, he's all sad and melancholic, but not in like a cool Byron way, in a really annoying My Chemical Romance way. And he's all like, when I was a young boy, my father took me to the city to see the Nzoth assault, and you won't be able to help, you're just a piddly mortal. As if I didn't literally just rescue all the Titans and bring them back to life, like literally last expansion, dude. Those guys that you call boss and worship as actual gods, at the end of Legion, they were all, ooh, nice work, Tally, you're the absolute best. Anything we can do to pay you back? Blowjobs and strawberries, perhaps? And I was like, nah, don't worry, Beardy, just the trinket will be fine. And now you think I can't handle a few tentacles in Pandaland? Come on, dude, seriously. As if Raden, the moody teenager, weren't enough, we then transport him to the Chamber of the Heart and are treated to Raden, the horny middle-aged divorcee, as he tries to get it on with Mother, which is just like, no, that's just gross, no. And then violent incel Raden, as Mother politely declines his advances and sets boundaries, which Raden takes so well that he becomes a raid boss. And Raden, that is not okay. Yeah, I basically did this whole bit just for that joke, and I regret nothing. WoW raids have a long and proud history of elevator bosses. Now, usually these take the form of huge structures that will descend and crush you if you're standing underneath them, or start hurtling downwards just before you get there so you follow straight afterwards to your humiliating death, which you deserve. It's such a macabre tradition by now that it almost seems silly to bring it up, but the elevator boss in Ny'alotha takes the trolling to a whole new level. So this twat won't crush you, and it goes up so that you can't fall down after it, but it does go up a very long way, and depending on your phasing, it only stays at the top for a fraction of a second before starting on its way back down, and it isn't phased the same for everyone in your group, which means it's at the top at different times for different people, and going back down again at different times too, meaning that the first time you use it, half your party is going to misjudge it and fall. And because it's Ny'alotha, the respawn is about 5 hours walk away, and when I say the first time you use it, I mean every time you use it forever. And I admit, it's kind of on theme for nothing in Ny'alotha to really be what it seems, and for players to not really be able to trust what they see right in front of them. But extending that to elevator physics is just taking that commitment to immersion too far, Blizz. Screw this stupid elevator. A big feature of 8.3 was, of course, the introduction of 2 new playable races. And don't worry, I'm not going to start slagging either of those 2 allied races off, okay? I think they're great. Furry goblins and talking pedal bins. What's not to love? No, the focus of this particular gripe I have is one very specific NPC. Kelsey Steelspark, because Kelsey is very, very keen that I get started on the quest to help out Mechatalk and unlock Mechagnomes.
Hero, your timing couldn't be better. Mechatork is fading fast.
And that's fine, like I say, I love those little chromey boys, but when a new patch launches, leveling a coffee machine through old dungeons isn't exactly top of my priorities, you know? That's definitely a see you in a month when we're in a lull kind of quest. And knowing that, there's definitely a certain comedy to Kelsey being there every single time I log in, waving at me saying,
Hero, your timing couldn't be better. Mechatork is fading fast.
Yeah, well, you know what, Kelsey, my diminutive compadre, I think you'll find my timing could be better, because I'm not going to do your stupid quest right now. There's visions to run. Bye. It's funny, but not like the millionth time.
Hero, your timing...
Every time I log in.
Hero, your timing couldn't be better.
No, Kelsey, my timing really isn't perfect, okay?
Hero.
Okay, fine, so I've decided that one day I've had it with this little stain guilt-tripping me with her passive-aggressive perfect timing bullshit, and even though I didn't want to do it, I did her stupid quest, just so she'd stop going on about it, and enjoyed the peace and quiet in Borealis for a job well done, until I logged into an alt, and she's still
Hero,
bloody there doing her...
couldn't be better.
No! No! What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to unlock Mechagnomes on all 10 of my Alliance alts just to shut her up? And then when the timing actually is perfect and I decide to actually level a toaster, am I gonna ding 110 on the thing, get to Borealis, and find Kelsey waiting for me to tell me that my timing is perfect again?
Hero.
Am I basically doomed to be stuck in this existential nightmare for the rest of time where my timing is perfect but never so perfect that the problem is ever solved? Actually, I think Jean-Paul Sartre said it best when he said, "Piss off, Kelsey, get off my case." This isn't the last thing in the video, but if I had to choose one, I'd have to say this is my single biggest disappointment of 8.3, which, believe it or not, and if you don't believe it at this point, I wouldn't blame you, but it's true, is a patch that I really like. I think it's great, but here's the thing. I am part of a select club, a superior minority. As a player of BFA, I am one of the chosen people because I am fully dedicated to our tentacly overlord and savior, Nzoth, and I show it by occasionally hitting my sliver of Ny'alotha and murdering my own faction en masse in Borealis, but also diligently wearing my fleshy eye hat, the gift of Nzoth. Other people got that shit cleansed because, beautiful though it is, it does tend to ruin any transmog you want to wear, but not me. Since 8.1.5 I've worn this thing, showing my love and devotion to Daddy Nzoth to everyone who can see it, which is frankly not many people, because like I say, most of you cleansed it off, but I stood the course. I'm still holding firm, and when I saw the payoff that Sylvanas loyalists got in 8.2.5 with a unique cutscene between them and Sylvanas at the climax of the war campaign, I was doubly inspired in my commitment to the eyeball meat bonnet, in the hope that my loyalty would be rewarded in a similar way. Blizzard pretty much said it would be in the build-up to 8.3, and look, I'm not asking for much, okay? I wasn't expecting something on the same level as the Sylvanas loyalist cutscene. I wasn't expecting that at the end of Ny'alotha, I'd get a special cinematic just for me where my character sits down for tea with the old god and he's all like, "You were always my favorite, thanks for wearing the hat." Well, actually, I would have quite liked that, obviously, and I definitely deserve it. Do you realize you can't transmog over this thing? But you know, it would have been nice to have something, and something obvious too, because at the moment, it's just embarrassing. Every time there's a Nzoth whisper in Ny'alotha or in a Mythic Plus, I'm like, ooh, did everyone just get that whisper? Or was it just me because I'm so special because of my amazing and very special hat? And everyone's like, no, we all got that whisper, Tally, and we can wear whatever transmogs we like. And I'm like, okay, fine, yeah, that's totally what I thought, never mind. Please give me something that I know that only I'm getting, please. I just want to know that me and Nzoth are still buds, even though I'm looting him every week now, okay? I just want to feel special. And this is another topic that you won't be surprised to see feature in this video, the end cinematic of Ny'alotha, and indeed the entire expansion. The shit show that erupted when this stuff was first revealed was intense and all-encompassing, overshadowing pretty much everything else about the patch. And I like to think that as time has gone on, people have calmed down a bit. And I like to think that as people have completed the raid themselves and seen their own character in the in-game cutscene being awesome, that they can at least understand the intention behind the raid ending, even if they don't like it. Because I'm totally behind the idea. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the in-game cutscene that shows us Death Starring Nzoth into smithereens. The problem is that it needed a proper, fully rendered cutscene afterwards, too. That's where Blizz failed to deliver here, and failed hard. How can I, a mere content creator, properly convey the sheer disappointment of the final rendered cinematic? Well, okay, imagine that you watched this whole video just waiting for me to get to this bit because you thought it'd be funny to hear me shit on this cinematic. Imagine that you were really looking forward to hearing me just unload on it and pick it apart in an irreverent manner. Imagine you'd sat through this whole video for just this moment, and when it got here, all you got was, thanks for joining us today for the 12 things you hate about patch 8.3 Visions of Nzoth. What do you think of our choices? What do you hate that we missed out? Let us know in the comments below. I'm going to do a little shout out for our Taliesin Evitel Twitch stream today as well, just because we never do. So we're coming up to our 1-year anniversary of being partnered over there now, so pop along and join us sometime for the official most boring stream on the platform. If you like this video, don't thank us, thank our patrons who give their actual real life money to make all of our videos possible. Thank you so much, you amazing, wonderful, handsome and nice smelling people, because without you there would be a whole lot less Taliesin Evitel. If you didn't like it, downvote the shit out of it. Remember, my name is Martin Benjamins. No, my name is Taliesin from me and Evitel. Until next time, cheerio.